road is only so wide. You can only fit so many riders in there. Dylan Groenewegen is right on the inside on the left-hand side, so you know they have been riding, but that increase in tempo at the front, you know, this gap is holding.
Yeah. Well, we have some more riders of the original first group back towards the peloton, with our rider from Ablok, Razenberg, Tuurdens, Huberts, and also Wessel Maurits is now caught. So our group at the front becomes smaller and smaller as Hartijs de Vries takes command here. And Brian, when this group at the front starts to get smaller, the chances of the peloton become a little bit bigger again. It's my thought, actually, but you're the expert.
Well, if you've got, see, hanging about the back there, one of the riders in the black is making efforts the whole time. The thing is, in crosswinds, if you've got a strong group in front, they'll work a lot better than the bigger group behind, because everybody's kind of fighting, and then you kind of lose riders down the rear. This is I think it's about 13 riders in here. This is a nice sizable group. Look, they're on the left-hand side of the road. 13 riders covering the whole road now, so that's just about, you know, a nice size. Anything bigger than that, which you've got in the peloton behind, you can't all fit in. So it'll be really kind of nervous behind, and they'll shed a lot of...
It's one of the most popular tourist destinations in the Netherlands. Our biggest group of tourists are Germans, actually. Not if you go to Amsterdam, that is usually Brits. But in the rest of the country, most of the tourists, foreign tourists, are German, and they absolutely love the province of Friesland. My parents, they were on the campsite here all the way back in May, and they were the only Dutch people on the campsite. And of course, yesterday was a day off in Germany. It was a day of unity in Germany. Shoe tightening going on right there. We do know by now that you can become a world champion with your shoes untight, but it's not the preferable way of riding.
You can win races in one leg as well.
Yeah, you can. It's incredible. You don't need any high vis if you've got a bike like that. This is Rick Ultima. He's been around for quite some time. One of the most successful riders on the continental circuit in the Netherlands. Really friendly guy, but never really. Yeah, there's a lot of these riders. You have that in every country, whether that is the UK or France or wherever, who are always like really close to making that final step up to pro level, but never really made it. And Rick Ultima is one of those guys.
We just look in the background there, we're about 15 seconds away from where we passed the Swan Ewers at the side of the road. You know, 48 seconds for some reason.
It's going out again.
Yeah, was that just slight kind of surge in pace from the peloton? It has caused a little bit of damage, but you know, we're seeing a reaction from the front, you know, but you can see some more teeth now. At the front of the race. They know that they have to ride. The interest for me now is Philipsen and Coy coming into the finish together.
A little bit of off-road action there. One of the riders being pushed into
Philipsen.
The gutter. Yeah, Philipsen. We have seen a race like this before in Belgium. I think it was Classic Brugge de Panne, but I'm not 100% sure, where we also had both Jasper Philipsen and Olaf Kooi in a completely wind-swept race. And they were just absolutely phenomenal racing through the echelons. Olaf Kooi, he's got 26 wins already. The boy, he's 21. He's 21. So awfully young, but already so many wins. But he's going to take on Jasper Philipsen today.
Another one.
Yeah, that's Stibar. So that means that Jaco Alula, they are basically down to, I think it's only Groenewegen left with Elmar Reinders now in that first group. Yeah. Work done there for Cyrus Monk, the man with mullet.
There's another rider that was riding at the front. So when that happens, you know, you are really giving it more than
Philipsen and Olaf Kooi. And also, both of these sprinters have participated in the work in that first group endlessly. So I haven't seen any of these two sprinters, Brian, really, slacking.
No, you can't. You can't. You have to do your turn. And okay, 200 kilometres at this time of year, but it's flat. You don't have, any elevation. It's all the others. Mies will be thinking, well, what can he do? And as for some of the other teams in here, the kind of non-World Tour teams, just getting on the podium. Like you said before, Bomboy is a rider that I noticed during the Tour of Britain. So there's definitely an opportunity for a top place. And some of these riders might have come in and targeting a top 10 or top 6, and they can tick that box off after the day. You have to say that Unibet team, the two riders here, they stand a chance. But at this pace, and they have to keep this pace up, they can't skip a beat, purely because the gap is still only about 37 seconds, which means that they have to continually do their turn. There's a few riders starting to kind of miss a little bit at the back, but this pace it's just so high at the moment. It's just very difficult to see any attacks that go. Are Jumbo or Alpecin going to play a tactical on the way in? I don't think they are. I think they'll just put it down to a sprint and let the fastest and strongest man win.
Here we are, Leeuwarden, or Leeuwarden, as the Frisians say. Big city, big hub for schools as well, hospitals, you name it. But most of the headquarters of the big countries, big companies and everything are in the west of the country. This is the northeast, 3 provinces, Friesland, Groningen, Drenthe. And Friesland is our host today as we enter the final 4 kilometers with Eduardo Affini, Olaf Kooi at the front, followed by Huub Arts there of the Metec team, the team with the fluo yellow helmets, and behind him we find the third rider for Jumbo-Visma with Lars Bomen. Mesketch is behind, then the 3 riders for Alpecin, de Koning, Philipsen, Taminiau, Van der Bossen. We also have Rick Ottema, Max Kronen still in this group, Tim Marsman, and the duo of the TDT Unibet team with local rider Hartijs de Vries. He was 5th last year, Hartijs de Vries. The race was won by Elmar Reinders. But it looks like we are going to have either a Dutch or a Belgian winner. This is the sign for the final 4 kilometers. So the GPS is slightly ahead of us. So we still have a kilometer to go here on the outskirts of Leeuwarden. We're just going to follow the canal, which is just outside of view, and then make our way right into the city centre of town. I did say 4 kilometers, didn't I, Brian? It was 4 on the side of the road. Or did I see that wrong? Yeah,
no, I think it was. I'm just looking at how this is kind of playing out. Jasper Philipsen, just inside 3 kilometers, as I say, the ticket goes, just prepared to ride. No attacks coming yet. And like I was saying, with the pace of Jumbo, Visma and Alpecin de Koning, it's a very difficult one to see how this is going to play out. The only thing I can think of is if the 2 Unibet riders get together and actually go together instead of trying to go on their own. This is getting a little bit interesting here because just kind of rolled off the front here. What's the Alpecin rider going to do here? They just kind of close the gap. So just look, it's quite clear that Alpecin and Jumbo want this to come down to a sprint, but surely somebody's going to try something.
14 wins this year for Philipsen, 11 for Olaf Kooi. And those are the 2 teams, as we can hear the pilot of the motorbike injured by the traffic obstacles there. This is the Van Hariksma channel on the left of the riders, and this is what we're following basically for the final, and then final kilometer we go into the city centre. We've got one corner in the final kilometre still coming up, so a rather technical final. I think we can say goodbye to our peloton right now. They have tried, but they have not succeeded. Fabio van der Bossen at the front with a truck parked on the side of the road. Philips is shaking his head. We must soon get to the Flamme Rouge on this industrial estate here, right into the centre of town. Well, basically just outside of centre of town. We're not going into the old inner city. Fabio van der Bossen yet again at the front. They are with three. Lionel Taminio is staying with Jasper Philipsen right now. The three riders for Jumbo-Visma together. We also see Lika Meskec move up. Davide Bomboy is moving up as well in the light blue. I want to see an indicator where we are GPS wise. There should be a corner in the final that could give us the indicator. There is, we're going to cross the railway bridge with about just over a kilometre to go, and then a final left-hand turn as we go off this main road. Here is the railroad, so this should mean that we're just inside the final 2 kilometres right now, with an attack from the peloton from Q36.5. But personally, I think the action is happening at the front right now, and there is where we are. This is that little left and right-hander. Then we stay on this road for about 800 meters. This is the final kilometer coming up right now. And then we have one left-hand turn on the roundabout going into the finish line. There's a lot of looking at each other. Look at how tired everybody is. And is that the Flamme Rouge? Well, I don't know. It's red, but I don't know if it's the actual Flamme Rouge. The GPS, Brian, is all over the place. But this is what, of course, the Unibet riders wanted to do. They want to try. Hartijs de Vries, he is the local rider. He is a man from Friesland. The Flamme Rouge was there, and he tries on this side of the road. And now it's up to Jumbo-Visma to try and catch Hartijs de Vries. He was injured really, really badly earlier this season, but managed to come back. A little bit of elevation here for Hartijs de Vries as we go over the water, and Jumbo-Visma have caught him. It was a courageous attack going into the final kilometre, but it was not successful. But they still have Davide Bomboy for well, one of the top 5 places. But for now, it's Olaf Kooi, and on the wheel of Olaf Kooi we have Jasper Philipsen. Taninio is going on the wheel of Kooi now. This is that final corner, the final roundabout, and then we go into the finish straight. The cameras are here. The final lead out for the Jumbo-Visma team by for Olaf Kooi, and now it's going to be Jasper Philipsen versus Olaf Kooi. Philipsen stays behind Kooi as long as possible, and now he gets out. This is going to be a fascinating sprint, but Philipsen has got the speed, and it's number 15 of the season for Jasper Philipsen. Smart racing there by Philipsen, staying on the wheel of...
Either in third place there, but you know, with the wind coming from the left-hand side, it forces Philipsen to go around the windy side, and he was clearly the stronger rider there. As soon as he was passed, Kooi sat up. Bomboy taking third place, Mies gets in third, but you just see that lead out from Affini. And I think at this stage Kooi thought, right, he's in prime place. If somebody wants to beat me, they have to come round the windier side, and that windier side was made look quite easy by Philipsen in the end. Just stronger, it's purely just stronger in the end. These sprints are at the end of a race like this are different to anything you normally get. I said it during the commentary, it's not always the fastest, it's the fastest and the strongest. It's what you've got left in the tank, and definitely it was clear that Philipsen had much more than anybody else.